Trump versus California, America's deepest crisis yet. Something historic, something dangerous, is unraveling in the United States. In the heart of its second-largest city, Los Angeles, chaos is no longer an exception. It's becoming the norm, and at the center of it all, a showdown between two titans, President Donald Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom. This isn't just a political spat. This is a battle for the soul of America. Governor Newsom has accused Trump of trying to provoke a civil war, not metaphorically, literally. His words, "Trump wants to divide us. He's pushing the country toward internal war." Trump's response, not a denial. He demanded the governor be arrested. Let that sink in. A sitting U.S. president calling for the arrest of a state governor while deploying the military on American soil. This isn't fiction. This isn't the plot of a dystopian series. It's real. And it's happening now. The Pentagon approved the deployment of 700 U.S. Marines into Los Angeles under the justification of protecting federal property. Just days later, 2,000 National Guard troops followed. Military convoys were seen rolling into the city, streets locked down, protesters kettled. Los Angeles, America's glimmering city of dreams, has become a testing ground for something far darker. Some analysts are calling it a dress rehearsal for civil war. And the spark, immigration. It all began with a series of ICE raids, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, targeting undocumented immigrants. Aggressive, unrelenting. Masked agents stormed homes and workplaces, often without warrants, without legal representation, and without warning. What followed was outrage. Thousands took to the streets. These weren't just undocumented workers protesting. These were American citizens, Latino Americans, rising up against what they called terrorization of their communities. Because let's be clear, in California, nearly 40% of the population is Hispanic or Latino. In many neighborhoods, 80%, even 90%. And ICE wasn't just conducting operations, it was creating fear. Imagine living in a neighborhood where, every morning, a new raid happens. One on your street, another in your apartment complex. Your co-worker disappears, your neighbor is gone. That's not law enforcement, that's psychological warfare. The protests began peacefully, slogans, signs, chants. But by Sunday night, the situation turned. Buildings were vandalized, vehicles set ablaze, police clashed with demonstrators. Over 200 arrests were made, and then came Trump. Instead of de-escalating, Trump doubled down. He blamed the chaos on Governor Newsom's incompetence. He bypassed the governor entirely, deploying troops without the state's approval. Legally questionable, politically explosive. This hasn't happened in over 60 years, since the civil rights crisis of the 1960s. A president sending troops into a state without the governor's consent. Governor Newsom called it what it is, an abuse of power. He vowed to sue the federal government. He called the troop deployment a provocation, a violation of constitutional boundaries. He said the president was acting like a dictator. Trump's reply, "If I were Tom Holman, I would arrest the governor myself." Alright, let's, pause here for a moment. The President of the United States, casually stating that he would have a governor arrested for opposing federal troop deployment. Now that's not democracy, folks, that's dictatorship. And remember, Trump can't run for a third term under current law, but he's told aides, find a way, change the rules, rewrite the Constitution if you must. This man is 78, he'll be 82 when his term ends, and yet, he's plotting for more. Meanwhile, Newsom is just 57, young by presidential standards, and a top contender for the Democratic nomination in the next election. So make no mistake, this isn't just about California, it's about power, legacy, and a battle for America's future. But back to Los Angeles. Despite Trump's claims, most protests were not violent. Monday night saw smaller, scattered crowds, less tear gas, fewer confrontations. But something deeper is building, an emotional powder keg. People are angry, people are scared. And Trump keeps fanning the flames. He declared, Los Angeles has been taken over by criminals and illegal immigrants. We're saving it from collapse. He even issued direct orders to the Secretary of Defense and the Attorney General. Stop the immigrant invasion. Do whatever it takes. This isn't policy. This is war rhetoric. He told agents to detain people for spitting, for not wearing a mask, for standing too close. That's not governance. That's tyranny. Let's zoom out. California isn't just any state. It's the world's fifth largest economy. A cultural superpower, a state where nearly 70% of the population is non-white. And here's the kicker. Trump is targeting the very demographics that make up California. Latinos, immigrants, minorities, This isn't about border security. This is about reshaping America's identity. Trump and his allies, including far-right theorists, believe America is being invaded, not by armies but by demographics. They've read the books. They cite Samuel Huntington's Clash of Civilizations. They believe Hispanics are taking over America culturally, economically, demographically. And they want to stop it by any means necessary. This is why Los Angeles matters. It's the front line in a demographic war, a culture war, and perhaps the early shots of a civil one. Back to the protests. Some carried Mexican flags. To many Americans, this felt provocative, unpatriotic. But for Latino communities, it's not about rejecting America, it's about identity. These are Mexican Americans, just like Trump is a German American. You wouldn't tell Trump to go back to Germany, would you? So why say that to a boy whose grandparents came from Oaxaca but who was born in East LA? And then, there's the symbolic war. American flags burned, videos went viral, fury erupted. Were these protesters real, or provocateurs? That's the question. Some believe these weren't spontaneous acts, but staged provocations, to justify further crackdowns, to discredit peaceful protests. We've seen it before. Infiltrators escalate violence, cameras roll, the narrative shifts, see? They're not peaceful, they're anarchists, send in the troops. So what's really going on? Is this a local protest, a regional crisis, or something far more sinister? One thing is clear, Trump is testing the boundaries, and California is just the beginning. Governor Newsom put it bluntly, Trump is not here for peace, he's here for conflict. He added, this isn't leadership, it's sabotage. And perhaps the most chilling line, he doesn't want to unite America, he wants to split it. We're watching an American fault line widen, the stakes, the Constitution, civil liberties, the rule of law, and maybe, just maybe, the beginning of something darker. If you're still watching, ask yourself, is this still the United States? Or are we watching it unravel? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like if you found this video insightful. Subscribe if you want more truth behind the headlines. And remember, history doesn't repeat itself. But it does rhyme. Be prepared. Agree? Disagree? Either way, smash that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And don't hold back in the comments. Let's debate.